There's like a power surge. Uh-oh.
Are we still broadcasting?
I'm still oops, you're selected microphone. Yeah, I'm still rolling.
Yeah,
Audio settings, black magic.
Good morning, Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We are so honored to be here with you this morning. You know this song, and I want you to help me sing it. Come on now. There is a space in my heart where I can find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. When we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Come on now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go. Trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yes, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community, and be who you are. Let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here, yes. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you. All that you feel, all that you know, let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here. Yes, you are. Good morning.
Good morning, SLCA. Thank you, Penelope. That was beautiful. Good morning and many blessings to all of you. Please join me in our call to service. Take a deep breath in and repeat after me. How I choose to think creates my personal experience. Therefore, I choose to think affirmatively. I choose to speak affirmatively. I choose to live affirmatively. Not only is this my right, it is my responsibility as a conscious being. I allow myself to be guided, used, and available to the reawakening of everyone's magnificence. The moment is now, and I say yes. And please join me by saying, and so it is.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to everybody watching on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and we got a few people in the house. We are broadcasting this morning live from the sanctuary at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We're so honored that you are choosing part of your morning, part of your day, part of your spiritual practice to bring us into your sacred space. Thank you so much for being with us today. We are testing things out, new camera angles, new setups to get everything ready to welcome all of you back into our house here locally, and continuing to make sure that we provide a powerful and engaging welcome to everyone who's watching outside of the greater Atlanta area. So welcome again to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We are part of a global movement called Centers for Spiritual Living that is committed to the reawakening of humanity to its spiritual magnificence, that is committed to providing the spiritual tools for personal and global transformation, and is committed to the vision of a world that works for everyone. And that is what we are all about here. Let me tell you just a few things that are happening here so that you know how to engage and how to participate. First and foremost, our ways to give. Very easy to do so online. Just our text to give number you see there, 404-800-9467. And it's just as easy as texting a friend. You put in that the dollar amount you want to give. It'll prompt you for credit card or bank information. If you've done it before, you know that once you do it once, you don't have to enter that information a second time. It's very easy to continue to give. You can even make a monthly contribution. Just put the dollar amount and then say monthly or say weekly or whatever it is, and it will set up an automatic reoccurring gift if you so choose. We're so grateful. We'll do our affirmation for all of our grateful giving a little bit later on in the service today. We want you to know that Women in Truth is meeting today. They're meeting at 12:15 on Zoom. The link will be in your feed this morning if you haven't already registered and you want to participate in that. And we all know that there is a powerful gathering of our women in an engaging conversation that's happening today. Every Tuesday evening, we have our Twin Heart Meditation with Reverend Ursula Lentini. She's one of our staff ministers here, and we're so grateful for her presence and for her continuing this offering. This is something she's been doing for a very long time, and we're now integrating it into our offerings to you. So join us Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Twin Heart Meditation. And on Wednesdays, as we roll right through the week, Wednesday evening with Reverend Susan Zoller. This is our Living the Science of Mind weekly engagement. It's not really a class because you can come and go as you please. You can come in anytime, leave anytime, and there's no end date to it, but it's an ongoing in-depth learning experience with wonderful trained facilitators, our practitioners, and our staff ministers. This week will be with Reverend Susan Zoller. So come on in and engage yourself in learning more about the science of mind teaching. And of course, every Sunday morning, we have our adult study. Our adult study looks at the Science Mind magazine and engages in a powerful conversation for about an hour. That too is a facilitated conversation. You can come and go as you please to it. And it is a very powerful group. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Time, adult study every Sunday. Practitioners are available for prayer support today. They are available to you online. They're making themselves known that they are in the chat and watching as well. So just send them a private message and they will connect with you and get into that affirmative prayer space today. Don't leave today without allowing yourself to be uplifted and affirmed for whatever it is that's happening in your life or the life of a loved one that you would like prayer support for. That's what they are for, and our practitioners love to serve, and we're so grateful for them. And finally, one last announcement. Those of you who are subscribers, and I hope we're on screen. I can't quite tell where we're at, but if you can hear me, Science Mind magazine, the May issue is out. You might recognize the people on the cover. Yeah, amen. That's pretty awesome. And so a lot of you maybe already got it in your home or you pick it up here at SLCA, but I actually have a request for you. And that is to wherever you are, if you're in Atlanta or anywhere else in the country, if you would take the time between now and the end of May so that's a long time, we're giving you about 6 weeks or so, to travel to your local Barnes & Noble. And even if you're already a subscriber, and pick up a copy, because the more activity we get through Barnes & Noble, the greater it is for the organization and the energy. And so I want to see if we can kind of create a little social buzz around this particular issue, especially here in Atlanta. I plan on taking patients to as many Barnes & Nobles as I can in Atlanta and buy several copies and just stand at the counter and see how long it takes for them to figure it out. Right? Just we would like to buy some of these. So anyway, if you would do that, just pick up a copy to give to a friend. This has become, and we got extra copies here at SLCA, this is going to be, for the next year or so, our best advertising to hand to a new person, to hand to a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, let them know about what's happening here in Atlanta and at SLCA and in the larger movement. So we're very excited about that and appreciate your support. All right, those are all the announcements that are fit to give this morning. Welcome again. We're glad that you're here. You belong right where you are, and we see you logging in from Texas and Colorado and California and Oregon and all over the place. Welcome. We're glad you're here this morning.
Sometimes it feels like I learned to see in the dark, like something came together when I fell apart. Getting up again when my knees were skinned showed me every end, just where we hit restart. I knew there was an easy way, but I found the light in darker days. I believe I'm where you want me. I can see from the place you brought me, there's so much life in what the hard times taught me. Though it didn't go the way I planned it, I learned how to live open-handed. I came alive in what the hard times taught me. What the hard times taught me got me where you want me. What the hard times taught me got me where you want me. What the hard times taught me got me where you want me. Got me where you want me. Got me where you want me. Only the broken can tell you where the healing is. When we're in need of forgiveness, we learn to forgive. There's no rewind, just crooked lines. But love is kind and makes us whole again. I wish there was an easy way, but I learned the light in darker days. Yeah, I believe I'm where you want me. I can see the place you brought me. There's so much life in what the hard times taught me. It didn't go the way I planned it, but I learned to live open-handed. I came alive in what the hard taught me, what the hard times taught me, got me where you want me. What the hard times taught me, got me where you want me. What the hard times taught me, got me where you want me, got me where you want me, got me where you want me. I'm wiser and I'm kinder. It broke me, but you woke me, and I thank you. And even where you want me, there's so much life you taught me. There's so much life in what the hard times taught me. It didn't go the way I planned it. I learned how to live open-handed. I came alive and what the hard times taught me. Sometimes it feels like I learned to see in the dark. Thank you.
Good morning, SLCA. I'm Victoria Peoples, and I proudly serve as one of the many wonderful licensed practitioners here at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And thank you so much, Penelope. That was beautiful. I'm wiser too, just from listening to that song. I want to read something to you before I get started. What I'm going to do this morning.
Hold on
Yes.
with that microphone.
What I'm going to do this morning is an affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment to evoke the spirit of the Most High that we already resides within us. But this week, it was April the 16th, out of the Science of Mind magazine. Some words out of that particular day really struck me, and I'd like to share them with you now. It says, you can make the choice today to create the life of your dreams. The first step is to believe it's possible. It necessitates dissolving a lifetime of false ideas and beliefs. You have to remove the mental blocks that stand between you and your divine destiny. Wow. You are here to develop a real relationship with the love intelligence that governs the universe. It is falling in love with that which you cannot see, knowing without question that it is always for you, never against you. There is a place within you that aligns with it, is fueled by it, informed by it, sourced by it, sustained by it. It is that place within you of pure joy, pure love, perfect peace, and perfect harmony. It is the way in which God enters your very being. It is the Christ presence within you. The kingdom of heaven literally comes to earth through you. The kingdom of heaven literally comes to earth through you, through me. And this is what life is all about, realizing that truth. So take a deep, holy breath with me, in through your nose, slowly out through your mouth. And just feel the presence of the Most High, because it's in every breath you take. Every breath you take is God breathing you, heaven breathing you, showing itself as you, through you, from you. And this is what I know. I know there's only one life. I know that life is God's life. That life is right where I am, right here, right now. I know that. I find great pleasure in that knowledge, knowing that God is right where I am, closer than my very breath, nearer than my feet, is God. In all of its glory, all of its magnificence, omnipresent, centered everywhere, circumference nowhere. That means it's centered everywhere, right where I am. All the attributes of God I have within me, even though I know that God is me and so much more, all that I am is God. And that shows up in and as my very life, as I breathe in heaven on a regular basis. It shows up as perfect peace no matter what's going on in my situation or my circumstances, perfect joy, love, abundance, because God is my source in all things, my substance, my supply. I give thanks for knowing this. I give thanks for the Centers for Spiritual Living, for the teaching, that we know that we are all connected. We all are one. We are one. So yes, I am not my brother's keeper. I am my brother. This is my truth. This is that Christ consciousness that dwells within me, showing up and showing out as my truth. I give thanks for this center and all that it offers. I give thanks for being here today in this center. I missed it very, very much. I give thanks for everyone who's here right now and all the work that they're doing to make sure that you can see us like you do, live and in living color. What a wonderful, wonderful, mighty God we serve. And what a mighty God is always serving us. Words that were spoken by a wonderful minister, Reverend Wendy Williams, who made a transition. But she's still right here with us, right here and right now. Right now. And we're breathing her breath as well. I give thanks for everything in my life, because my life is God's life. And I release these words into the universe of mind of the Most High, knowing that it's already done and well done. And together we say, and so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through me.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Penelope. Thank you, Victoria Peoples, for that beautiful prayer. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in. Welcome again. Welcome into this space. I hope you enjoy what is happening here, and those of you in the local Atlanta area can see yourself populating the chairs and coming into this new vibration that we are creating together, kind of trying to make it intimate. The living room, I've been coming to you from my home office for over a year with my bookcase behind me and a very intimate setting. So we're trying to change things up here. And somebody asked, how do we get all your books on the wall back there? But I think maybe we'll go for something slightly more different there. But welcome into this space this morning. It's good to have you. Let's just take a deep breath. The theme of the month has been about stepping into the unknown. And I'm so grateful for my dear friend, Reverend Lola Wright, who spoke powerfully to us from Chicago last week and infused us with some action steps and some ways to activate our soul into this teaching. And today our title comes from, we follow a theme. If you have our You Belong book, it has the themes in it and the titles, and we have different ministers and colleagues that help kind of create that context. It's not exactly a liturgy, but it's some guides, if you will. And today's title came from my friend and brother, Reverend Darrell Jones in Chicago as well. So a little bit more Chicago energy in the house this morning. And there's been a lot of buzz about what is this word? Bless-itation. The title today is Bless-itation. What in the heck do we mean by bless-itation? So we're going to explore that a little bit today. As we do so knowing that it is, again, connected to this theme, stepping into the unknown. And, that's something that we've been doing for quite some time. Have you noticed? Right? We've been in this constant process of stepping into the unknown, I don't know what this week looks like. I don't know what this new thing looks like. I don't know what this new way of doing church looks like. I don't know what this new, maybe you can fill in the blank for your own life. I don't know how it's going to be working from home. How's it going to be changing everything? How's it going to be? And now we're looking at coming back and that's still, we're not coming back is kind of a misnomer, right? Because we're not coming back to anything. We're continuing to move forward and continuing to step into an even greater unknown. What is this going to look like? It's not going to be the old thing. It's going to be something new. That's why we're changing things up here, so that when you come into the space, it's familiar from an emotional sense, but it's a new space, right? So what is that unknown, stepping into the unknown? It's something that, if we're really honest, stepping into the unknown is something that we do all of the time. And the reason it is, we tend to think, well, no, that's only when I have major life challenges, major life shifts, right? When new relationship, new job, new something, new move to a new house or move to a new city or something big in my life changes. Those are the moments, those are the times that I step into the unknown. But the truth is if you are on a quest of your own spiritual growth and transformation, you're actually always stepping into the unknown. Why? Because as you grow, you're actually expanding yourself. You're becoming more yourself. And now it's a little bit of a bait and switch that the universe does with you, right? Let me see if I can explain it. Because we often activate our spiritual growth. We engage in spiritual growth because we want to know more of ourselves. We want to know our authentic self. We want to know who we really are. We want to be more comfortable in our own skin. We want to be more confident about our consciousness and our tools and all of that stuff, right? And that happens as you grow, right? Earth rotates around the sun as we go 365 days around. As I do in ministry, I always say, I don't expect you to be the same person that you were a year ago. I don't expect you to be the same person you were 6 months ago. I expect you to grow. I expect you to expand. I expect you to be something new. And so we grow and we expand. But it's kind of like, I use this illustration a lot in classes. And if you've taken a class with me, you've probably heard it before. I use this illustration of an island. Right? If this carpet represented that I'm on the island of my knowing, I know every square foot, I know every inch, I know every fiber, every pattern that is in it, and everything that is part of the energy and vibration and area of it. And this is my border of the known, right? And beyond here is the unknown, and here is what I know. And so there's a measurement to how much of me bumps up against the unknown. But as I grow, you see, and again, the motivations for spiritual growth and development often in our lives is we want to become more, we want to expand, we want to know more of ourselves, we want to, again, be more confident, we want to have better relationships, all of those things. So I grow, and now the carpet gets twice as big. And so now it's okay, I've done these classes, I've done this work, I've learned how to use affirmations and meditation and own stuff in my own consciousness, forgiveness work. I know how to vision and bring things into my life through affirmation, all of that great stuff. So now, boom, the carpet is bigger. Now I've got more territory to play around with. Now there's more of me that I know. But as the carpet's gotten bigger, so has the border or the parts of us, if you will, that bump up against the unknown. So it's kind of this bait and switch. We grow because we engage in spiritual growth because we want to be more confident. We want to say that we really know ourselves. But the truth is, as you continue to grow and expand, so does the opportunities for you to step into the unknown. So does more of the mystery, right? So in other words, it's like, you probably heard the old spiritual saying, the more you know, the more you don't know, right? The more you know, the more you bump up against the unknown, the more of the mystery you're engaged with. As that border expands, then the borderline or the territory in which the mystery gets to kind of wash things up on the shore of your life increases. And that's a beautiful thing, right? But each of those places, each of those that square mile or that territory of between the known and the unknown has an opportunity to wash upon the shores of your being, an opportunity of growth, an opportunity of expansion, an opportunity to explore, an opportunity to question what you really believe. And those moments are often met with hesitation. Right? Something. If you're walking along the beach and you see something and you're not quite sure what it is, right? Going to hesitate. You're going to pause. You're going to say, "What is that? Right? Should I step on it? Should I walk around it? Should I help get it back in the water? Should I, right? Should I take a picture? Should I call somebody? What is this? Right? Those are moments of life that we meet with hesitation. And so it is with new jobs and new relationships and career and life changes and all of those moments in which we're engaging in the unknown are moments often of hesitation. We pause. And in that pause, without a deep spiritual discipline of Bless-itation, which is what we're talking about today, we meet that pause with our fears, our doubts, our worries, our concerns, our worst case scenarios, our, oh my God, what if, and all of that stuff courses through our veins. And if we meet all the hesitations of our life with all of that energy, then what the universe hears is that is the way, watch this, that is the way that you prefer to learn your lessons. I don't know if you caught that or not, but when you meet the hesitation with your fears, your doubts, your worries, your concerns, then what you're telling the universe is, okay, the way you prefer to learn your lesson is through your fears, doubts, worries, and concerns. But if you develop as Michael Beck would call it, a blissipline, right? Which is, and you meet the hesitation with the bless-itation, which means you don't deny the pause, the hesitation, you don't deny the worry or the concern, but you meet it with the activity of blessing. You meet it you meet that pause, and you take that moment of pause, and you do something constructive in consciousness with it. Rather than fill it with fear, doubt, worries, and concerns, you actually stop and you fill it with, since I know that God is all that there is, whatever this thing is, right? Whatever this thing is, since I know in a universe of oneness, there's nothing but God, whatever this thing is must be for me. It must be good, right? It must be part of my growth and expansion. It must be part of what's happening to allow me to know more of myself and learn more about myself. I may not like it, right? I may not prefer it. I may want it to be different than what it is, but I meet it with a blessing. And when I meet it with a blessing, then what you do is you tell the universe, okay, you're open. You're creative, you're expanding, you're willing to learn your growth and lessons in a more graceful way. And how many of us wouldn't like to learn our growth and lessons in a more graceful way rather than the hard knocks on the road kind of way, right? You see, it's the ego that fills that gap of hesitation with what ifs. What if this doesn't work out? What if that doesn't happen? What if we have a guest in the house this morning, Dr. David York, who's the music director at Unity of Houston, flagship church for the Unity movement, and wonderful, wonderful community, legacy community for Unity. And he and I worked together in Oregon for 15 years. Prior to me coming here and prior to him going to Unity, we were together. And prior to that, we were together at a big church, big church. Somebody say big church. It was a big church. And I arrived as youth minister, all of about 25 or 26 years old. And I had more from infants to to high schoolers, I had more people that I was in charge of than fill most churches, most New Thought churches, about 300 infants to teens on a weekly basis, and an army of volunteers. And so I thought I had arrived. I was the cat's meow. I thought, well, I want to do youth ministry. That's what I came in the world to do. And so this is a career path, and we're just going to ride this out until it just falls right off the cliff about 2 years later with a big bankruptcy. But we're not going to talk about that today. You can Google it. But anyway, Dr. David and I started something new. The community wanted to start something new. They wanted to keep going. And we said, all right, let's lean into this thing. We had wonderful people around us, Dr. Harry Morgan Moses and Reverend Dr. Sally Rudis, and wonderful cadre of souls who were willing to engage, from congregants to practitioners. But truth is, we didn't know how many. We didn't know what kind of financial giving they would participate in. We didn't know how long they'd stick around. We didn't know where we were going to do it. We didn't know where our offices were going to be. I had a Plymouth Neon, and I had a HP printer in the trunk, and that was our office. We met in a congregant's home in his beautiful little garden patio and have our meetings. And I would come into the room with my HP printer and plug it in so we could print programs and agendas and all kinds of other things, and then go back to the car and put it back in my car. And so we met that moment, which would be a moment of hesitation, which would be a moment of pause to say, what are we doing? Is this going to work? I mean, I got bills to pay. I got rent. I got a mortgage. I got this or that or whatever. Right? There was all kinds of moments for fear and for a cortisone cocktail to rush through our veins and say, hang on a second. Are you sure about this? But we met it with a blessing. We met it with the universe is trying to do something here. What I was absolutely convinced of in the development of that ministry was that Spirit was trying to do something by way of me, by way of Dr. David, by way of the people that were gathered, by way of the people who said yes. And it didn't matter to me how many people had said yes. It didn't matter if it was the thousands that were before or a few hundred. And when we first started talking about money, they scattered to the wind like the bugs that, that when you come in the kitchen and turn on the light and they're gone. They just disappeared, right? And we kind of had to start all over. So, okay, now we got this many people with us. Okay, let's try that out, right? But I was convinced that Spirit was trying to do something. And it wasn't my job to have my ego in the way, or how much am I going to get paid, or is this going to work out, and to meet all of those hesitating moments with my own fear, worry, and concern. It was my job to meet those hesitating moments with a blessing. With the blessing that there must be something good trying to happen here. And if I can be useful, then Spirit use me. And if I can be of help, then Spirit guide me, you see. And then I can open up, and I can, with that Bless-itation, you can be more creative. You can be more intuitive. You can be more flexible and fluid. You're not running into life with fear and guardedness and trepidation, but you're running into it with curiosity, right? And a joyful, childlike curiosity, which to be honest, and I didn't plan on talking about this today, but since he's in the house, what I learned more from this man than anything else was how to do that, right? How to just run into a room and go, yay, let's just see what happens, right? Absolutely. And then beautiful things happened. Beautiful things happened as the community grew and blossomed and healed its financial angst and bought a property for, $1.8 million, almost $2 million, 2.1 actually, I believe was the purchase, with congregant money. Come on now, somebody, not a bank, right? Not a congregant money, right? It was an amazing thing. And so when we meet the universe, rather than what ifs and fears and anxieties, but we meet it with curiosity and say, since I know that God is all there is, let me put a bless-itation on this pause, on this moment. Let me fill the gap. Because here's the thing. When that hesitation moment comes, the universe knows what it's committed to. I say that again. The universe knows what it's committed to. The universe is committed to your growth. The universe is committed to your expansion. The universe is committed to your liberation. emancipation from discord of every nature, and that goal is sure to be attained by all. The universe knows what it's committed to. The question is, do you? Because in that moment of hesitation, our ego is saying, is blocking the channel. We're blocking the channel with all these questions of what if? What if it doesn't work out? What if they don't like me? What if I run out of money? What if all of these things, right? But when you put all those questions aside, the universe isn't asking a what if question. The universe is asking, what are you committed to? I am committed, the universe, the infinite intelligence of all of creation. I'm committed to your liberation, your unfoldment, your continued expansion, your stepping into gifts that you have yet to discover about yourself. I'm committed to that. But what are you committed to? And if we meet that moment of hesitation with fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, and all of that stuff, all that trepidation, then what we're telling the universe is that we're committed to that. We're committed to our limitation. We're committed to our doubts. We're committed to our small-centered self. We're committed to all of those things in the universe. That's why the universe then says, okay, that's how you want to learn. Your anxiety doesn't change my commitment. I'm still committed to your growth and your liberation. I'm still committed to change. I'm still committed to expansion, ever going forward in ways that open your heart and allow you to step into your true, authentic self. I'm still committed to that. But since you're committed to this vibration of fear, doubt, and worry, then I'm going to have to deliver what it is that I've got to give you through the channel that you will receive it. Through the channel that you will receive it. And since what you're paying attention to is your fear, doubts, and worries, that's the channel I'm going to use. But the moment you switch it up and you meet your hesitation with a bless-itation, you're telling the universe, I can receive my growth and expansion through joy. I can receive it through curiosity. I can receive it through play. I can receive it through sensuality and through prosperity and through all of the good things of God. I can receive it through that way because I'm committed to my growth and transformation as well. I may not know what's coming. I may not know how it's all going to work out. I may not know all of these things, but I'm committed to that. And so the question becomes, if we're committed to our growth and transformation, then we have nothing to fear, because everything that is happening to you is happening for you and happens as a way to contribute to your growth and transformation, you see. Now, am I saying that bad things should happen to people? No. Absolutely not, right? We've all had difficult experiences in our life. Some people have had tragic experiences. I'm not saying that whoever abused you should have abused you. I'm not saying whoever took advantage of you should have taken advantage of you. I'm not saying those things. What I'm saying is, since God is all there is, you have the capacity to be a spiritual alchemist. Right? The alchemist only needs, they say, a small trace, just a trace of gold to turn lead into gold. Just a trace. And what we all have within inside of us is more than a trace of God, right? More than a trace of goodness, more than a trace of holiness. And so it doesn't matter what has happened in our experience, we can take that trace of, if all we can grab onto is, I know that there is a trace of goodness in me, of God, of holiness in me, even though I've had all of this stuff happen in my life. And it's ugly and it's painful and I don't want to talk about it and I'm still healing from it. But there's a trace of goodness and godness in me. Then all you need is that trace to turn all of that into your blessing. You can write a book. You can be a teacher. You can be a healer. You can help somebody else avoid those pitfalls. You can use your story to transform somebody else's life. It doesn't mean that those things should have happened to you. It means that you have the opportunity to transform them into your blessing. You see what I'm saying? And so the universe is asking to fill those moments with the bless-itation. When we do this, we supercharge the environment with pure potentiality. We charge it with the vibration of goodness, with possibility, with a heaven-mindedness. And we change that space of negativity, shame, and doubt. And we give permission for the universe to deliver our lessons in a more graceful way. The universe is always committed to our growth. The question is, what are we committed to? And so we say in this teaching that we believe in the individuation of the Spirit within us, that all people are incarnations of this one Spirit. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of this truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. What that means is anyone can use this activity of bless-itation to meet the moments of life of hesitation with a blessing, with an affirmation, with a thought. I know that God is all there is, therefore, whatever this is happening must be for me. It must be for my highest good. It must be a part of the curriculum that allows me to expand and grow into more of myself. You see, doubt, contrary to popular belief within New Thought circles, doubt is actually a part of the process, right? Because to doubt is fundamentally to question. And when we question, Ernest Holmes says that the answer is in the question. And so if we're asking the question, what is this? And the answer is in the question, then the answer comes back, you tell me. Right? You tell me what it is. Right? I'm here for your growth and transformation, but you tell me, are you going to receive it as part of that path of your curriculum of growth and transformation? Or are you going to avoid it? Are you going to deny it? Are you going to shove it aside? Are you going to, and if you do, I'll just come back around the other way. And are you going to dodge and avoid that? Well, I'll come back around the other way again. And the universe, you can't dodge the universe, you know. Universe, you can't get away, right? That's the universe is a consistent giver. I know when I give somebody a gift, if they don't say thank you, I'll be like, I'm crying. I don't know, you are off my list, you know. But the universe is like, no, I'll just keep giving. I'll just keep giving. I'll just keep giving you the opportunity over and over and over again, because I'm committed to your growth and your liberation. The question is, are we? And so what this means is that, and I want to, as I bring this home here, this means that this is not our grandparents' new thought. This is not just thinking positive thoughts. This is not just don't think about the negative stuff, turn away from the conditions, just accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. No, that's our grandparents' new thought. This is a whole different thing. This is about spiritual alchemy. This is about meeting the moment of hesitation with honesty. We still walk up on the unknown and we still go, WTF. Right? What is this for? Right? What is this for? Right? We're still honest about what's happening, but we allow ourselves to meet it with a blessing. We allow ourselves to, this is about scientific quantum physics, supercharged shape shifting. It's about global awakening into a paradigm of a world that works for all. It means that we're no longer afraid to talk about the things that we haven't talked about for in a long time, whether it's police brutality, whether it's gun violence, whether it's racism or sexism or patriarchy. We're not afraid. We don't respond as a movement saying, well, we're just not going to talk about that stuff. We're going to focus on the positive. No, we're going to meet those things. We're going to have the hesitation of saying, every time there's a new story, every time there's a new name, every time there's an Adam Toledo and a Dante Wright and a Lieutenant Narvaez and on and on and on, as these stories continue to happen, we got to meet that hesitation. The universe is saying, what are you committed to? Are you committed to more division, more politicalization of it, more sweeping it under the rug, more excusing it as just some bad apples? Or are you going to finally start to look at the whole orchard and say, wait a second, right? Every negative condition in the universe is created by consciousness. So what do you create? What are you committed to? If you see these moments occurring, then pause, and you can bless them, but you don't bless them as well, it must be. We're not talking about a new thought lobotomy. This is not, well, it's just, everything is good, it's all good, it's just, right? We're not becoming blasé about it. We're meeting the condition for the energy that it is, and we're saying, because I know that God is all there is, I know that this death of this young man in this condition is not in vain. Why? Because it's waking up humanity, because more people are engaged, more people are looking at police training, more people are looking at the political process, more people are looking at voter laws and what's getting passed, more people are paying attention, and that is a blessing, because the collective will not stand for the continued oppression of the allness of humanity. And so it's shifting and it's shifting and it's shaping into new realities because we're paying attention to it. And so we're not avoiding any of those things. We're actually meeting them head on. And we're actually saying to those conditions, you got to go. We want to receive our blessings and our growth and our transformation in a new way. We don't want to keep receiving it this way, right? But the only way you can receive it in a new way is if you're paying attention to the lessons of the old way. And so humanity has been on a course of transformation, of waking up to the single lesson that we belong to each other, no matter the color of our skin, no matter the race or creed or religion or any of the other ways in which we've sought to divide what is actually the multiplicity of oneness, the beautiful colors that come out of the prism of one light shining into it. We've used all of those colors as ways to divide ourselves, but the truth is, humanity has always been on a course to learn that in all of that multiplicity, you actually still belong to each other. You still breathe the same air. You still drink the same water. You still walk the same land. You still kiss the same sky. Come on, somebody. You still belong to each other. So I don't know. The universe is saying, well, let me see if I can get you to get that you still breathe the same air. Maybe something so small that you can't even see, that if you don't pay attention to it, you'll actually have to live in separation forever. How about that? How about let's just blow that into the universe and see how y'all do with that, right? And we spent a year separating and dividing from each other for our own physical safety, but not because that's where we naturally belong, but because we had to learn the lesson that we actually breathe the same air. We belong to each other. We're all one. And if some people over here aren't taking care of themselves, then it's going to affect the other people over here, right? Whew. And so we stand at that choice point again to look at everything that's happening and give ourselves the opportunity to meet it with a blessing, to say the name, Adam Toledo. I see you, 13 years old, with his hands in the air, and to say, I see what the universe is trying to show me. Your name is spoken into my life in a way that it activates me such that I am changed. And as I am changed, then the world changes. And we look at systems of policing and we say, you know what? Maybe this thing that was started as an enforcement for capturing escaped slaves isn't working for us today. Maybe there's some unconscious bias that's happening in the collective that we need to do some training. Maybe we need to get some of these new thought practitioners up in here who know how to examine unconscious and hidden beliefs and make it part of the police academy to say that you can't wear a badge until you've examined all of your unconscious hidden beliefs and you've exercised those demons out of you so that they don't pop up at the wrong moment. Because I know you say it's not your fault, but you've been conditioned by a world in which you see danger. The cortisone goes, your reptilian brain goes, and instead of grabbing your gun, you grab your taser. Instead of grabbing your taser, you grab your gun or whatever it is. That wasn't an accident. That was an unconscious conditioning of responding to what you have been trained to perceive as a threat. But white Kyle Righthouse can walk right down the middle of the street with his AK-47 and get Burger King on the way to the police station. And so it's upon us to respond to these moments with the blessing that says we're receiving the lesson. We're receiving the insight. We're receiving the call to transform. And we step into that space and demand it and ask it of ourselves, of each other, of our politicians, of our leaders in every regard, and of our collective society. And that's what we're committed to here at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. That's what we're committed to in the New Thought Movement and in Centers for Spiritual Living. And in probably the slickest segue I'm ever going to do, I'm going to say, that's why I want you to go to Barnes & Noble and pick up a copy of this. Let me tell you why. I'm going to be very serious about this. Because I actually happen to know from just this week alone, this only been out on the stands a week and been mailed to subscribers a little bit before that. But there's already been at least one, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are others, people that have written into the headquarters, into the publishing department, to say that they're canceling their subscription. because of not because of the content of the article itself, but because of the reference of our social justice work, Recovery from the Lie of Whiteness. It offended them. They went to the Lie of Whiteness website. Now, we don't describe that work in this body. There's a footnote that points to it, but that's all it is. It's just the website. And so I wouldn't be surprised if there are more. But you know what? I want to create a condition in which they see the uptick in subscriptions, of new subscriptions that happen and new purchases that took place, because people are saying, finally, they're bringing this in and they're talking about it and they're pulling the rug back and it's open and it's out in the air. And if the people aren't ready, then let them go. We don't need to worry about that. We bless them in their way. And that's the reason the whole work is framed in the recovery framework that it is, because you can't convince a drunk to come out of the bar and go to a meeting. They're not ready yet. So it's okay. Let them be where they are. They will find the meeting when they're ready to find the meeting. But the people who want to do the work can find the work. So I know that we can send a blessing on this situation and have an uptick in subscriptions, and let all those who want to get offended by it, let them be offended by it. And we bless them anyway. So that is why I'm asking you to do that. Now I got to close. So just take a deep breath. We have the opportunity here every week to not only shift and engage our own consciousness, but to send a frequency and a vibration out to the planet that says, this is what we're about. This is what we're committed to. And it's living inside of me. And we invite others for it to live inside of them. And we do that through sharing these messages on YouTube and Facebook, and telling our friends about it, buying copies of the magazine, sharing it with our neighbors and coworkers. And we do it by just living the principles, being the demonstration, such that people, when they interact with you, say, how is it that you're able to respond to life in this way? What is it about you that is different? And you can say, I got this secret weapon. It's called this tool of my consciousness. And I learned about it in this place. And I am so deeply grateful. And if you're curious about that too, why don't you join me? That is exactly how my mother found this teaching over 40 years ago, and through an invitation of the Science of Mind magazine and a coworker who said, I've got this secret weapon. She didn't say it like that, but that's what she meant. I got this secret weapon. It's this New Thought teaching, and it teaches me how to claim my good and affirm my wholeness and work with the tools of consciousness such that my life is better and your life is better too, because we're all in this together. Let's be about that this week and every week as we move forward from this space. Thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. We love you. We appreciate you. Stay tuned. We got more good stuff coming in this time together. Peace and blessings.
Reverend David, that was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm supposed to be saying something now about grateful giving, but I think you just said it all. You said it all. I couldn't say it any better than that. I mean, really, you can't outgive God at all. And so all I'm saying right now is don't hesitate. Get your bless-itation right here, right now, by giving to this center. You know, whatever you have is perfect. We are not limited, and we do not want to limit the unlimited. Okay? Please join me in our affirmation for grateful giving. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. Everyone.